Hello, students, staff, and parents. Today we are going to be reading a story. Today we are also going to be talking about some pronouns. And when we talked about this, we talked about words that you use to talk about yourself, like I, me, and my.
I, me, my,
You can use words that you use to talk to somebody, like
your,
and.
yours,
And you can also talk about other people, and those words would be
she, they,
You will hear some of those words in this video with the story. And every time you hear one of those sounds, I'm just going to tap my pencil on the table or on the laptop, and then hopefully you'll hear that little kind of click sound. And then you will know that you have just heard one of those words that we talk about, one of those core words. So I will move to the story. I added it on the computer for today, and we'll see if that looks a little bit better in the video. It's a little bit harder to hold on to it and show you, but it's pretty easy when you have it on the computer. All right, this story is called The Legend of the Hummingbird. It talks about the way we act at home and how that's important, because you'll probably act the same way when you grow up and leave home. And that's very true. The skills that you learn at home and at school and the kind of work that you do, that's what will probably be the way that you work in the future and the way that you communicate in the future. And so that's why it's important for us to continue to work hard so that you can continue to gain those skills and continue to be able to advocate for yourself so that you can have a more fulfilling life with more communication with others. In a land far away lived a mother who had 4 daughters named Margarita, Amelia, Carmen, and Maria. The 3 eldest girls were lazy and rude and rarely obeyed their mother. Only the youngest, Maria, did what she could to be a loving daughter. The time came when the mother called her children together. You are growing older now, and so am I, she told them. I won't be able to take care of you forever. You must learn to work so you can make your own ways in the world someday. So I have chores for you to do. Margarita must dust away the cobwebs. Amelia, you must sweep the floors. Carmen, you must rake the yard. And Maria must weed the garden. Margarita, the eldest daughter, scowled. Dust? I can't be expected to dust, she hooted. I need my beauty sleep. She packed her bag and left the house to find a quiet place to lay her head. Amelia, the next daughter, threw up her arms and paced the room in circles. I don't know how to sweep, she grunted. I'm sure I can't learn how. I'm going for a stroll in the countryside. It's much more pleasant there. She packed her bags and left the house. Carmen, the next daughter, banged her fist on the table. I don't know how to work either. I've got better things to do. No? I'm moving to town. People there know how to have fun. She too packed her bags. She packed her bags and left the house with a frown. Only Maria, the youngest daughter, put on a smile. "Don't worry, Mother," she said. "In the garden and plant as many flowers as it will hold and sell them in town at the market. That way I can stay and take care of you as you grow old." Time passed and Maria kept her word. Her garden flourished, and so did her business at the marketplace, and she made enough money to help out her mother. At last the old woman grew sick and feeble. She sent Maria to find her sisters and bring them home so that she could see them again. Maria found Margarita asleep in the shady forest. "Mother is ill and asks you home, Margarita." "I'm sleeping right now," Margarita said, yawning. "It's much too early. Tell her later." Maria found Amelia wandering in the countryside, searching the fields for scraps of food left from the harvest. "I don't have time to come home," Amelia said, hoping to pick up some dinner. Maria found Carmen walking the town lanes and alleys, knocking on door after door, looking for handouts. "I come home just now," Carmen muttered. "No one feels generous today. Keep knocking if I am to eat." Back to rap on another door. Maria returned to her mother, who grew very sad when she heard what her daughters had said. "My Margarita will live in the dark forest for the rest of her life, sleeping the days away," she cried. "My Amelia will spend her life wandering aimlessly, content to live on what lies on the ground. Oh, I'm missing my Carmen will knock and knock for the rest of her days, grubbing for morsels. Only Maria will be welcomed and loved by all." And her words came true. Many years later, Margarita became an owl, and to this day dwells in the darkest parts of the forest, sleeping the days away. Amelia turned into an ugly vulture and now circles the country skies, hoping to dine on whatever she finds lying on the ground. Carmen changed into a woodpecker, and you still hear her knocking and knocking all day, grubbing for morsels. Here's what they look like. Up here is the owl. So this is what her mom was talking about when she said the animal that sleeps the day away. Here is the vulture, and that is an animal that just picks up whatever is laying dead on the ground. So it doesn't have any fresh meals, it just grabs whatever's around. Here's a woodpecker, and that is the third child. The third child was going to turn into Carmen, and she always had to keep on working hard, just knocking and knocking to see if someone would give her some food, and she did that on the trees now as the woodpecker. As for little Maria, she is still hard at work in her garden, tending her flowers, sipping nectar from their silky cups. Everywhere she goes, she is welcomed and loved, for Maria turned into a hummingbird. And here is the hummingbird. Okay, to end the video, hopefully you were able to hear some of those different taps. I missed quite a few as we were going through. There were a lot of pronouns in there, but hopefully that gave you a good idea of some of the words that were the pronouns. And as you could tell, there were a lot of times where I tapped the pencil. So pronouns are used a lot in language and a lot in stories. And so if you can continue to work on pronouns and work on using them with talking to people, that is something that's going to just expand your language so that you can do more with it. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk about was that this story was, it wasn't real, it was just a lesson. And that lesson had to do with just working hard and So those daughters did not actually turn into different kinds of birds, but it's a good story to kind of highlight that people who do work hard and give that effort to continue to learn and grow, that more people will appreciate when they see that effort. And so that's why whenever we see progress with any of you students, we get so excited and we just love to see that. And then we talk to you for days afterward about how great that was. So continue to be working hard at home and try to use those different pronoun words. If your family or staff is talking with pronouns, maybe they can try to kind of highlight that for you in conversations and say, hey, that was a pronoun. I was talking about myself, so I used the word I, or something like that. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you next time.